I bought a beta cross trainer in 2018 after watching a bunch of Barry's videos on cross training enduro and thinking that maybe that smaller size and no real power valve would be a good learning tool for me in the really technical trails up here in the Northeast United States. I got the bike through the BYOB program and I opted for the mid-range upgrade of the front suspension anyway. It's like a different insert. The bike was very helpful. I found the smaller size really enabled me to try things that I would not have tried on the KTM 200 that I have. But now my skills have developed. The bike has done its job, and I was kind of frustrated with the level of the suspension. I tried to fit a square peg into a round hole a few times, like at the Sandlapper Enduro in South Carolina, with, I think, predictable results. The cross trainer is about 85% the size of the KTM. It doesn't have a power valve, so the power is very linear, and the suspension is really soft. I thought that would be better for the conditions I expected to see down here, but when I hit this drop off right here, I really started to wonder if I had made the right choice. Now, over the course of that race, it became painfully obvious, and I mean that literally. It was in fact painful. It became painfully obvious that the cross-trainer suspension is just, it's not made for this. It's like a modified kind of hybrid trial suspension. It just doesn't work. I didn't learn quickly though. I'm not a fast learner. So I kept trying to see if I could make it work, again with predictable results. I'm definitely riding past what the beta wants to do. I'm busting right through all the travel, and it just feels really wallowy and not very precise. The problem was even more kind of obvious and exaggerated on the rocky stuff that we ride up here.
Fork stacked up there. Fine, the first few.
Here's a quick replay so you can see it again. Soft at the beginning and then gets real sharp. Notwithstanding all these problems and frustration, I saw real potential in the bike, and I have affection for it. I mean, it's a great bike. It's a lot of fun to ride, and I looked for a way to improve it instead of just trading it in on something else. I did some research and settled on the Lucky fork insert with damping done by All Moto Performance in Montana. So I packed everything up, sent it off, crossed my fingers, and hoped for the best. Shh, 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 don't move. Here he comes. It's the FedEx guy. I've been waiting for this guy for a week and a half. He's got the goods from Montana. Delivery is done, installation is done. Finally, we are out on the trail with the new beta suspension. I gave all my information to Aaron Halad at All Moto Performance. We had a long conversation about what I like to ride, what I didn't like about the cross-trainer suspension, what I liked about the suspension on my other bikes, and gave me his magic recipe. Let's see what we got. It's really funny to watch it back and see how tentative I was on some of the jumps because, like with the normal suspension setup, those would be like bone-crunching landings. But the more I pushed, the more I developed confidence. This thing actually handled the bumps like a proper enduro bike, kind of like my KTM 200. And I started carrying more speed through whoops and over jumps, things that normally were the absolute limiters for my riding. And I found that the change was profound enough that I started to get a little frustrated with the limitations of the motor, because normally where it would kind of flatten out and top out, I would be completely comfortable with that because that was kind of the limit of the suspension. Now we've gotten beyond that. Now I got to wake the motor up.
Oh, trade?
Sure. How does it feel?
Ah, it feels like a proper bike.
Feels a whole different machine.
Yeah, it's just like it's like built for something else, like this.
No kidding.
Yeah, I think it's
So different.
yeah.
Going from a counterbalance to a non-counterbalance.
Yeah, I know. Fucking counterbalance, douche. It's okay. I got one up my sleeve. That's a story for another day. Wow, his hands are fucking huge. What?
Alright, I'm not going to make any large hand jokes, but that's my riding buddy Rich, and now I'm on his 2020 KTM 250 TPi, widely recognized as one of the best handling and best suspended woods bikes you can buy. Amazing to ride these two back to back, and normally for a cross trainer this would be like a bloodbath. It would be completely unfair, and the cross trainer would be totally outmatched. I will say, riding this 250 TPi, this bike is insane. The size of the bike is better suited for me for riding fast in the woods than the cross trainer, which is a little small. But for purposes of testing the suspension back to back, I mean, the cross trainer with the lucky insert done by AMP and with Aaron's damping work on the stock rear shock, I tell you what, guys, the difference was not massive. That cross trainer held up pretty well.
This is plush.
Pretty nice.
It's like a lazy boy.
Yeah.
Like, and it launched me off those two. Like, I compressed and then just a little gas. And
Yeah.
just like solid gas off it. And I was like, oh wow. And then when it came down, like that comes down. This was like on a cloud.
Yeah, it's got a lot of torque too, but especially
I
back
felt like I
to.
was getting a lot of chain slap, no?
Yeah, I'm sure you were.
Yeah, Rich, what? I don't know. It's good.
I knew it had to be pretty good because when we stopped, I was expecting Rich to switch back, and he didn't switch back. He kept the cross trainer. Here he is hitting one of his little jumps. You can see even from trail side, I mean, that looks pretty good. He's not hammering or anything, but that looks good.
It's very different. I mean, for me, it's definitely better.
Oh, it's a completely different bike. I have more confidence in riding it today than I ever have. I don't know if it's just because I haven't ridden it in so long.
It's like a little small, right?
I feel like my knees are gonna touch. So even this thing in the snow sucked.
The thing is loose.
What thing?
The handlebar.
What did you do? It's probably when I launched it. Oh, it is the bars. It's my clamps. I'll do another lap and then bring it in.
I don't think I'll back out with this thing on here, do you?
That's pretty loose.
That's pretty loose.
Hey, if you happen to hear my bike wind out, come quickly, because I just died.
I'm glad we got that sorted out before somebody got hurt. Well, coming through this back section again, turn like this right here, I'm like on the gas and carrying more corner speed than I ever would in the past on this bike with that stock suspension. And coming through here, there are a bunch of roots, there are pretty sharp bumps. The feel is good. The bike is planted, it goes where I want, and I think the best way to put it is it feels like an enduro bike instead of kind of some kind of intermediate in between trials and woods bike. It feels like, you know, this is what it's for. This is what it's made to do. You could probably tell from the sound of my voice, but if it's not obvious, I'm really happy with that. That is a great result. It wasn't cheap. It wasn't outrageously expensive. I think it's actually a good solution and will really extend this bike for me.
Hey, by the way, what did you think of this?
It's awesome. It's really, the engine's very lively. I thought it was pretty soft.
Right?
Maybe a little under damped, maybe.
Rebound?
Compression too. It's just a little soft. I wouldn't mind if it were a little stiffer front and rear.
I was curious to see what it would be like on like real single track instead of just that basic loop. We cut through here and I was so pleased. It really is a massive improvement. Basically just like a linear response from the fork. It's plush, it's compliant, it's predictable. I mean, that's what I was hoping for. That's what I expect when someone tells me that a bike is well set up.
I have no idea where I'm going, so...
Let's try that way.
I also went with much stiffer spring rates at Aaron's suggestion, and those seem like they're working very well. I get nice support and good lift so I can jump stuff easily, and the bike feels aggressive, supporting, not sinking into the trail.
So are we the assholes?
I don't know.
Hey, why don't you just jump that, alright?
Yeah. Okay, Frank. What was that guy's name?
Patrick.
Patrick, yeah.
Back to the topic at hand. Check out this fast section here. Right there, some puddles to jump over, some, I don't know if they're maybe acceleration pumps. And I'm loving it. I mean, this is great. I am not reluctant through here. That is fantastic. Same thing here, another high-speed section. Usually I edit these out because they're pretty boring. But here, it's like, yeah, it's actually working. This segues into a very short little kind of enduro loop that is in the back part of the riding area here. Some really tight turns, so you need some front-end feel, like through here. And then some whoops, very short whoops, right here. All this you can see from the bike, you can hear from the throttle application, all the signals are positive.
You all right? I'm ready for the national.
Alright, let's go.
All right, we took a couple minutes to figure out where those guys were so we didn't run into them in the middle of a 25-mile-an-hour section of the trail. During the course of the day, I thought, I would probably firm up the damping from the settings that I had out of the box, but not a lot. I think 2 clicks away, maybe. And again, this is not so that it's comfortable, but so that I can ride actually hard, aggressively.
Just cruising, sitting down, rocking it.
These next 2 clips, more examples of things I would never have done with the old suspension. A series of puddles and little rollers, just blasting through these with the gas on. This steep downhill, these kind of log drop-offs, like no problem at all. Actually enjoyable. I'm a little tentative still because I'm overcoming the terrible memories of beta suspension past. Plowing into these taller roots here, I found that it was still nice and plush. And so it's not like it was plush on the big hits, but harsh on the trail hack, the smaller stuff. No, it was plush right the way through, just what you would want. The stiffer springs and better damping made a big difference on a couple of mistakes I made too. About to bury the front end right there. That's nice, a lot of skill. Point being, the fork was nice and easy there. I did not get the triple clamp in the chest like I would have in the past. So it also bails you out when you make mistakes like that.
Respect all others. You hear that, Nate? You gotta respect me out here.
See if I can hit those logs right one time. He should probably slow down.
I'll keep you guys posted as I get some more hours on the suspension and ride it a little bit harder. You can see already here on this loop, I've cut through here a few times. I'm carrying good speed through here and it feels just fine, which is that's a big improvement for this bike. Really happy I made the change.
Yeah. Front tire's good though. No. Jesus Christ.
So I suppose the summary then is that the Lucky Inserts by All Moto Performance in Montana gets a thumbs up. It's an A from me. Really enjoying the bike and really enjoying the suspension. Doing stuff on this bike that I haven't before. So I look forward to really pushing it next time out. I'll let you guys know what happens. Stay safe, guys. We'll see you soon.